Hey there, I'm Sam Slavin from Sly Designs, and this is your Kirigami cards tutorial. Now, this doesn't require any special tools. We've done all the hard work for you. Kirigami is the art of cutting and folding paper, so it's kind of like origami with the bonus of cutting cards. I think most people would like to do this, at least in the magic community, but the issue has always been that it's really difficult to cut the cards. It takes half an hour to do each card, sometimes more. And if you make one tiny little mistake, it's over. And all your work and time is lost to your error. So we've gotten rid of the errors for you. And now you can produce just a large variety of the different designs that are in these Kirigami cards. And we hope you enjoy them. So let's get started on this little tutorial. Okay, for doing the Kirigami cards, no tools are required, right? But it would be smart to have one of these. This is called a bone folder. This allows you to put great pressure on any fold you make to make the fold especially crisp, right? You're never going to get that with your finger. And even if you wash your hands well, your body is still secreting oils. There's dirt on it that you thought you washed off, and it could potentially smudge your work of art. So do yourself a favor, get one of these, because this can easily be washed in the sink. The other thing that might make your life easier on this is just a safety pin, right? It's not required. It'll just make things easier, as you will see. But I'm going to use it to open up my package. All right, these are shrink wrapped very tightly, just to keep everything from ever interweaving, right? You'll see that every card is a different design, and if you tried to just push them together or let them slide around in a box, they could interlace and ruin your cards. So we had to do this to ensure they get to you in the best condition. So when you begin this, right, don't spread them out. I mean, every time I open a deck of cards, I'm always spreading out the cards. That's because I'm looking for errors, miscuts, misprints. Don't do that with these. Resist that urge. Gently lift off the cover card here, right? And you can keep this because it might be worth something someday when we're big and famous. But set this aside, right? And you'll see that you have cards, right? You have a queen, jack. Spread this out slowly, right? All the way to ace. So your cards will go from ace to queen. So let's go through each of those individually so you can get kind of an idea of how these work. Okay, first thing, you'll notice I've got a little cutting mat here. I no longer have my close-up pad on this surface. And the reason is we want a strong back, right? A hard surface to be working on to make sure that when we fold these, they're as good looking as they can possibly be, right? The close-up pad is just it's not gonna push back the way it is, and you could potentially deform your card in a way that you do not want. So your ace card has all these chevrons, right? Right, there's 3 of them that bend, right? This one does not, this one does not, does, right? This one does. If we look closely here, we'll see that right here, we have this cut terminates and this cut terminates, right? And then the same on the other end. Those are what we refer to in this art form as hinge points, right? So if I were to take this one and gently get this guy up to bend exactly on its hinge point, right? That's the maximum extension of the fold that I can get on here, right? So notice I don't push it all the way down immediately because I don't want to fold it prematurely, because that might not be what I want to do. But in this case, I know this card. I've done this one many times, right? I can just continue to bring that all the way down, right? So we brought this all the way down, but you notice I haven't pressed down my hinge to lock it in place, right? I just come in, make sure everything's in alignment. I've got it all pulled down as far as I can get it. And I take my bone folder and just put that pressure right on here, right? I'll do the same on the other end. Right. And now wild things are apparently happening to this card. Right? I can do that with the next one again, right? Notice here, like if I push this up, right, the top of this is 90 degrees relative to the surface of the card, but I'm not at the maximum end of my hinge point. So what I want to do is kind of lift it up to ensure that I've got it at the very end of that hinge. Right? We can see the difference, right? So we'll try it again here. Try it on this side. Whoops. It's a gravity test and we are in compliance, right? So we see it's got a bend in here. We don't want that bend, right? I just lift it away, right? And it just kind of comes to where it's supposed to be, right? So I can do the same thing. Lock it in place. All right, we got one more. This one is pretty easy to do, but it looks incredibly complex. So we see now that on the front and back side, looks like you had an incredibly steady hand with your X-Acto knife making this piece, right? I can pull stuff back, right? I can let it interplay with each other in many different ways. The choice is up to you because there is no wrong answer in this, right? It's a work of art. Art is in the eye of the beholder. And you are the first to behold it because you're making this. So what you say goes, right? So yeah, there's a lot you could do. You're not limited in just stopping here, right? You can use your imagination to, you could alternate these guys. We could put one in the front, one in the back, right? So now there's this little incongruency, right? This one's missing, right? Let's do it to this one as well. Right? So that's different. Tell you what, I've never done that before. But there's so many options with this that, like I said, it's up to you and how you want to do this, right? So this is card number 1, right? That's the basic hinge fold process. Let's move on to number 2. See, the number 2, we've got the shape of a club on here. Now you might be looking at this video and then looking at your cards and be like, well, but mine is on a diamond or a heart, a spade, right? I didn't get a club. Well, that's the luck of the draw. But you're a magician, you're smart, you understand how this can be used as a revelation of showing your pip, saying, was that the card you selected? If you had a diamond, rather. If you said, hey, was this your card, the 2 of diamonds? They say, no, the 2 of clubs. And then you got a big club knocked out in this thing. So pretty easy stuff you could do with it, but it's also just neat on its own. You don't have to use this for a trick, right? So you notice that some of these are a little stuck, right? We use a combination of our through cutting and perforation technology to make this happen, right? So if you do have any tiny little pieces that are connecting it, right, we want to do this, right? We want to pull it apart. We don't want to ever do the shearing action, because that's how you wind up ruining a card, right? If I did that right here, right, it's going to propagate a tear all the way through here, and thereby I lose my hinge and then my ability to have this look as it should. Oops. So here, not sure if it's registering on camera, but this line and this line come to a termination right along the center line of the long axis of the card, right? So our hinge point is hidden here in this club. Similarly, at the bottom, we have this point, right? That comes to the center line of the card, right? And so does this bottom part, right? Now, these are made based on the dimensions of the card. We all know that Bicycle misprints or miscenters their cards all the time. This is actually a pretty good one, right? The border is pretty even all the way around, right? So when it ever looks off center, go ahead and measure it, because it's not, right? We control it based on the dimensions of the card. And anytime it looks off center, that's not us, that's Bicycle. So this is an easy one, right? We're just gonna lift our hinge points up about 90 degrees off the surface of the card. All right, we're here. And we can just continue this all the way around. We'll see that it lines up. Now I haven't locked in my hinges yet, because what I want to do here is ensure that the card fills the negative space, right? So that one kind of locked in to place, right? So I know that it's in the right position. I'll lock down my hinge, right? I got the same thing on this side, right? So this one's coming around. I want to make sure it's in position, right? My hinge is up 90 degrees off the surface, and just gonna bend it over a little bit, not locking it into place, right? And I want to make sure that everything falls into position up here. Once I've verified that, I got my bone folder. And here we go. Right? So again, it doesn't have to be like this. You can weave it around, right? We can bring this through. We could bring this to the top. Whatever you want to do. Each of them looks different this way. Card number 3 is an easy one. So easy, in fact, that I already did it without even recording it for you. But anyway, this one we call the tomahawks, right? It's based on similar designs that we've seen out there. I think Ralph Rudolph had a similar design to this. If you're not familiar with who he is in the world of magic and topology, I recommend you look him up. But same thing, right? We will fold stuff over, always double check that our positive space is filling the negative space, right? And then we lock down our hinges. And here you have the tomahawks, right? We say that because we got 3 tomahawk heads here. You have negative tomahawks on the back, positive tomahawk. There's just a lot of them. All right, card number 4, interesting one. This is the same pattern and dimensions as our Infinity Link effect, which, if you're not familiar with, is pretty good, right? So we can see here, right, we kind of have this lollipop shape, right? On the Infinity Link, you cannot see this on the face, right? So you could have a spectator sign the card, and then you make this topological wonder right in front of them. And you can also link a spectator's finger ring to this card. This is a card that links to itself. So you see this circle in the center, right? If you're familiar with our karate cards, right? Just, right, your finger goes right through. That pops right out. This one is a lot looser. Like I said, we cut this one all the way through. Make this one easier for you. Infinity Link comes with 56 of these, an entire deck. The Joker is the advertising card, so you can practice on this one. But this is pretty easy to do, you know, if it's your first time doing it. Here you go. Is that it? No, that's not it. Let's take this one all the way. All right. So you see I've popped this out, and I've kind of worked this to hold itself upright from the card, okay? I'm gonna take my index and middle fingers and thumb, and I'm just gonna kind of soften this circle that's all the way around the card, right? I do it coming back towards me. I do it this way. I just want to soften it up as much as I can, right? But okay. And then here, right, if we imagined the circle continuing through where it meets this post, right, I'm just going to kind of put a light bend in there. So see, I've lined my thumb up with the edge of that, so I know I get the fold in the right spot, right? It's a light one. It's a very light crease. I don't even know if you can see it here, but that's all we need to do. So we got this softened up, and now it's ready to be inverted. With the opening here facing away from me, I'm just gonna bring this guy down, right, into what mathematicians call a hyperbolic paraboloid, or what the rest of us might call a Pringles crisp. It's got that shape, right? I'm here, and I'm gonna bring the sides to the back, right? So now it kind of has a pretzel shape, right? So this is all about bar snacks here. We're going from crisp to pretzel, right? I'm just kind of holding that in place with my thumb. I'm gonna bring this end down the post, right? My pretzel is a little more evident now, right? And what I'm gonna do, starting on either side, but I'll start on this side, I'm just gonna turn this inside out. Right? And there we go. Very easy. It's easy to do fast. I'm doing this slow. It's kind of as slow as I can in order to show it to you. If you do have the Infinity Link, you already know what to do. If not, I recommend you get it, because this is a fun one. Look at this. Pressing this down. But the Infinity Link, we go into a lot more detail on how to do this, and it's a lot easier to see the way we've done that. But here you go. You can see now that here, right? If we tried to pull it this way, it's in the way of itself. And of course you can't go this way, right? So this is on here. It's a unique little topological wonder where this kind of comes up off the page, which is the face of the card. And if you want to learn how to link a ring to this, like legitimately link a ring to this, right? A spectator's ring, where you can show this and they can give the ring a tug. Check out the infinity link. I guarantee you're gonna like it. So right here we go. That's card number 4, the infinity link. This is one we call the waffle iron, right? You can kind of see that. It's a circle with a bunch of lines cutting through here, right? Right here we see 2 lines that are next to each other that come to a termination. And then right here is another set, right? This is good if you like mazes, right? You can start it here and see where this continues. You'll notice it goes all the way around, right? Probably the world's easiest maze, right? There's a lot you can do with this one. I'll just show you an easy one real quick, right? If we come from this leg to this little tapered part, we just kind of break it free, right? You notice we have this long piece that connects all the way over to this hinge point, right? So in the world of, these topological wonders, I believe they call this a stem, right? So this stem is connected to the hinge point. And if we're just real careful here, let's line those over, we can lift up our hinge point and flip everything right over, right? And then doing that, I just want to make sure that all my space is filling the negative space the way I want it to. We're here, right? You might be able to hear the little clicks of when it falls into place, right? I just press that down. Now you could stop here, right? This looks pretty neat, We got enough of a pip on the back that we can recognize it for its shape. Right, we have all these lines. We got back on the front on the back. You could also remove the big circle and add a rotation to this whole thing. Right. So I rotate this whole thing. Right. You'll notice that my hinge here is at 45 degrees, right? If I just went over 180 degrees and our little cutouts up here, and maybe that's what you want, I don't know. You're the artist. So it's there. We're gonna line everything up. Right? Ideally, you probably want your lines here to be horizontal, right? Or rather parallel to the short edge of the card. All right, so I can lock this into place. And now I've got horizontal lines where I started vertical. Right. What's interesting about this is the mind sees a circle, right? It sees these straight lines, easy to interpret, but then you see, wait a second, this club is turned, right? It's rotated 90 degrees. So what's going on here? It's hard for people to put together. Another thing you could do with this one especially is take your stem, right, at the hinge point, go ahead and cut it off, and then weave it through the other stems that are on here, right? So we're not going to do that here because I'm going to show you that on card number 10, the weaver. But, you know, that's an option here if that's something you wanted to do. All right, this is card number 6, one we call the Dharma Initiative, because we have a nice little hexagon in here, right? And again, right, that piece comes out. So the cards you got, it might not be in there. Same with your 4 card. If anything is missing in your card, it's because it's supposed to be. And if it's still there, that's just a bonus for you, right? So we'll notice that we kind of have concentric hexagons in here, right? Let's start with the outermost one. So found the end of the stem, and here is our hinge point. If we lift that up to about 90 degrees, it makes our inversion of this a lot easier to do. Right, so we make sure this is in place all the way around, right? And then we'll lock in our hinge. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna skip one and alternate. So once again, I come through, I make sure everything is locked into the negative space, just falls right into place. Right? Hold this, lock in my hinge. And I'll just skip another one. Right. So in doing this one especially, I know you're excited to see your results, but take your time. These are mildly fragile, and you could rip them. So when they get tangled up, just take your time and become better at understanding topology by untangling it. Right? So everything's in place. And we're locked in. All right. This is one where your little safety pin might come in handy, but again, not necessary. If you look at this, we see something here. What is it? Oh my. If you're afraid of snakes, this is either going to terrify you or help you cope with your fear, right? But this is an actual playing card diamondback snake. You'll notice that the diamonds are the exact shape of diamonds on your playing card, right? And again, if you didn't get a 7 of diamonds, you know, it's just luck of the draw. It's a 1 in 4 chance, so I recommend buying 6 more decks of these just to ensure you get a 7 of diamonds, if that's what you really want. All right. Oh wait, what's this? There's a little club and a spade and a heart and a club, diamond. Look at that. Some genius put these in here in chased order. But let's see, we got a hinge point right here at the mouth of the snake and here at the tail of the snake. So let's just loosen him up, make sure that he's not connected anywhere, right? Very gently pulling it apart. this up. Make sure everything's free. Lift this up. And here we go. Now this is an interesting card. It's really easy to do. You could fold them all the way down and then have the symmetry of the two snakes. Or what I like to do with this one is have it up, right? So it's sitting on a table, right? And people can see this, but also, see if we get this on here. I had to bend them a bit here based on my light. But our shadow, right? You get a third snake in there. This isn't the best shadow, but hopefully you can understand. We can see his eyes. We can see the shapes in here. So I've got this on a turntable with light pointed on it. So then you get the shape of and cutouts that are on the snake. But we got this one. We're here in Arizona in the USA, and we have a lot of snakes. In fact, 12 different types of rattlesnakes in this state alone. This is another pretty easy one. In fact, it's just like the snake without the little cutouts. This is just a shape with 2 hinge points, right? Right, and if you were to try and cut your own Kirigami cards, this is probably the shape you would settle on because they are very difficult to do. So the people that do them with a knife are pretty amazing in their level of patience and skill. I recommend not doing it just because you'll probably wind up getting stitches or needing a bunch of super glue to suture your cuts. So look, I bent this over, I got it. It's all lined up. Right. And if we pull this through, notice how flexible the card is that allows us to move around stuff. Right. When we do this, a lot of people struggle to understand what's happened here, right? Because they don't understand the flexibility of the card. In this one especially, if you were to place glue on all the back pieces, right, and glue this down, it's more confusing for them to try and interpret what's happened. I mean, they know something interesting has occurred, but they don't understand how. Especially if they're not able to access it. This is a neat one. I think it's based on a design by the great artist Scott Dwyer. So if you want to learn more about Kirigami cards, you should definitely check out his site. He's got some phenomenal stuff on there, on his site. The number 9 card, this one we call the bullseye. Because as you can see here, looks like a bunch of incomplete concentric circles. Right, so we have like through cuts here, but then on this side, it's not. So that means that's a hinge point for us. So on this one, we just want to make sure everything's free, right? By pulling it apart and not creating any shearing actions. And similar to the number 6 card, right? We find our hinge point and we just invert this, right? So I come in, make sure that I'm in the track of the negative space, right? Right, I can feel it clicking into place, right? As I move towards the hinge, I pinch it and then I hit it with the bone folder. Skip one. Again, it's laid into place. We see we have a circle right here in the middle. If you wanted to turn it around, that's an easy one. You just come in, and I recommend pinching right at the base of it where it's connected to the card. And we just give it a twist. Again, we can come through, verify that everything is lined up perfectly. And here you go. That's your bullseye. All right, the 10 card. Let's see if we can get this in the light correct. We call this one the Big D. Kind of have this straight side over here and rounded on this side, right? Call it the Big D. There's a local ranch near us called the Big D Ranch. And there's also the Circle H Ranch. So we'll have to make a card for them as well. All right. So we can see here, we got a free part that has a couple of hinge points here, right? Bring that up. And I didn't lock it in place, so I can kind of bend it the other way. But here, I'm part of this D, right? Notice that this part is significantly bigger and wider than the arched part, right? One of the main principles of topology and understanding it is bending your geometry, right? You're not limited by your geometry if you know how to bend it, right? I think they said something about that in the Matrix without saying those words, but if you can bend it through, hey, it works, right? So whenever I put a bend in something that I don't want to be there, I immediately bend it out, right? And now this is on the other side of here. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and lock it into place because that's where I want it today. Right, I got this bigger section of the D. Right, so this arch is much bigger, which means that this guy should pass through. Oh no, right, still too wide, but this one goes through a lot easier. So false alarm, nothing to worry about here. Right, now as I place tension on this guy, right, I'll see that I've reached the maximum extent of the hinge, so I lock it into place, right? And I can do the same thing here with this little piece, right? And now, oh, wait a second. Now there's a Circle H. So I guess I don't need to make a card for that other ranch that's near us, right? It's invisible from this side, but now we can see the circle and then the letter H. So there we go. Anyway, you could do a lot of things with this. You could bring this little piece in front of here, right? If you so desired, right? So now our Circle H is a little more obvious, right? We could fold these back into here if we wished, right? I could have left these two arcs on the other side and taken out this one in the middle that you might not have realized was there initially. So there's a lot to do with this one, and it's up to you what you want to do with it. All right. Card 11, your Jack. It's one of our Weaver variations. You'll notice that everything in here is cut. So we wanted to separate this. We got a long stem that leads back to the hinge point. So we're just gonna free our stem from here. You might wonder, why isn't it just completely cut through? It's because cutting it completely through yields bad results when packing multiple of these into a case for you. So you don't need any special tools. You just separate it very easily. And with the stem, we're usually gonna put a twist in it. Right, so the key to this one, right, let's back it up a little bit. This is our hinge point, and this corner, the one that was here originally, is gonna go to this corner. So I put in a twist, and I'm putting that corner into the opposite corner, right? You'll see as I'm doing this, right, this is up off the table, right? I'm putting a lot of stress on the card. Right, let's see if I can show that to you. So see how we have this bend in here? Don't worry about that. It's not enough stress to become strained and deform your card, but you're near the limits, so do take it easy, right? We'll come back up here, right? I'm working away from this corner towards the hinge point, right? And as I do that, it relieves some of the stress. I'm just gonna, from my finger to the corner, lock that into place. And you can see here, we got a 45-degree fold relative to the square that we're working with here. So here you go. Is this it? Is this where we stop? You can if you want. But you notice, because of the flexibility of the card, right? I've got 2 little stems hanging this way, 3 this way, right? It's very easy to work with. If you want to weave this, I mean, it looks complex, but it's incredibly easy, right? Because you're not taking those stems and weaving it through everything, right? The easiest way, right? This is on top. So let's move this to the back, this to the front, this to the back, this to the front, right? And there we go. It's woven. Now, of course, you could weave these other 2 through here. Doesn't really matter. It's already pretty complex for people to see and understand, but you can do it if you want, right? The easy way is just to take this piece that we just wove through everything, right? And notice everything just kind of falls into place, right? So I went over and said under, my bad, but this is art and there's no wrong way. It's just like eating a Reese's. Not that I would know, I have a pure peanut allergy. Simple. This one looks great when you put it in a little protective sleeve, one of the hard carriers. People do not believe that this is a single piece. Here we go. Card 12, the Queen. This one's pretty easy, right? You might notice that there's already some holes in it, right? And this is where your safety pin comes in handy, right? You'll see all kind of cuts on here, right? You just come in, give it a little poke, right? and all your pieces will come out. All right, we'll speed this section up for you. It's pretty self-explanatory. And there you have it. Here's your card. Let's see if this contrast will help. There we go. Sorry for the angle, but let's see if we can adjust the light. Right? So you can see that it's an actual queen cut into the whole thing. This isn't really a topological wonder as much as it is just an artistic thing that looks pretty neat to people who have never seen such a thing. And it's always a fun gag is to let them know that you sat down and did this with your pocket knife. So if you know which queen is cut into this month's queen card, let us know. You might win a prize for being the first one to tell us. It's a cool one. I like to hold this one up to a window to show people their card. There's a lot you can do to this, but holding this up to the light, sorry you're getting the oblique angle of this, but it's the best we can do the way the things are set up. Anyway, let us know which queen it is. It's a 1 in 4 shot, so what do you got to lose by at least taking a guess? That's it for this month's package of Kirigami cards. It'd be great if you would share what you've done with your cards with us. You know, you can tag us on Instagram at Artistically Impossible, or you can email us at info@sly-designs.com. We'd love to see what you're doing with it. And if you have any ideas for designs that you would like to see added into one of the Kirigami packs, let us know. Because if we like your design, you're a subscriber, and we make your design, we're going to send you an extra pack of just the card that you designed yourself. Thank you, and until next month, Kirigami Club members.